Hey everyone! First of all, if you notice that your local language isn't in the dubbing or subtitles of a movie, please let me know in the comments, just like Magdalena did a while ago. I didn't ignore it. I researched this issue for a long time, changed settings and tests until I found a bug, which I managed to patch on Saturday. I am listening for your advices, opinions and complaints. Feel free to write to me. I read everything and respond. Prepare to obliterate everything in your path. This isn't just another boiled guide. This is the definitive masterclass on turning Cynthia with Tempest Arms into an unstoppable damage machine. Today I am answering one of the most important questions from my last video. Should Cynthia use Tempest Arms? And if yes, which one actually works best? Spoiler, the answer is far more interesting than you think. So let's jump straight into it. You already know I love testing weird setups of meta combination and builds that nobody expects, but that end up performing insanely well when you understand the mechanics behind them. And that's exactly what happened with Cynthia and the Mark of Insight control Tempest Arms. Most players automatically assume Cynthia should run something healing oriented or utility based because she is part of a control style formation and not your stereotypical brute force hunter hero. But that logic falls apart once you actually break down what Mark of Insight does, because this Tempest Arms doesn't just buff Cynthia, it supercharges the entire control march. Let me show you why. Here's the exact effect you guys asked me to analyze. Each base attacks grant one stack of Mark of Insight, increasing the next skill damage by 4.5%. Stackable, Mark of Insight resets to 0 upon releasing a skill. For every 4 base attacks, skill damage increased by 2.55% until the end of the battle. When equipped on a control style squad, every 5 times Mark of Insight is gained, one random enemy squad is applied with control exposure, which increases damage taken from control squads by 3%, stackable and lasting until the end of the battle. Now let's break down the important parts, the things most players miss, and the details that make these Tempest Arms far better than it seems on paper. Curiosity number 1. Cynthia's attack speed makes this weapon shine. Cynthia hits fast, faster than many players realize. That means she is building stacks of Mark of Insight constantly, which leads to two major effects. First, huge burst of boosted skill damage every time she casts. And second, permanent stacking skill damage thanks to the every 4 base attacks equal plus 2.55% to all skill damage for the rest of the battle. This second mechanic is the real gem. It turns Cynthia into a long fight scaling engine, especially in full march control battles. Curiosity number 2. Control exposure turns your whole march into a blender. Do you remember this? Every 5 stacks? Boom! A random enemy squad gets control exposure, increasing the damage taken from your entire control styled team by 3%. This isn't just a one-time debuff. It stacks. It lasts until the end of the battle. And with Cynthia attacking as often as she does, this debuff spreads like a wildfire. What does it mean in practice? Shizuka hits harder, Daisy hits harder, Cynthia herself hits much harder. All your crowd control interactions becomes more punishing, and damage ramps up exponentially as the battle continues. This turns Cynthia from just another control hero into a debuff engine, enabling your entire squad to reach damage numbers they simply couldn't achieve on their own. And curiosity number 3, this Tempest Arms is not just for hunters. Many players think Mark of Insight is only good for pure damage dealers. But here's the twist. The damage bonuses don't care whether Cynthia is a hunter, rider or infantry hero. They only care that she attacks fast and triggers stacks quickly. Control heroes are constantly applying effects and casting skills. That means every boost to their skill damage has disproportionately high value. So instead of treating Cynthia like a support piece, these Tempest Arms turn her into a core amplifier for the entire march. And that's why I stopped using healing based Tempest Arms for Cynthia. Now it's the important part, why I abandoned healing Tempest Arms altogether. Healing based options sounds good on paper, more survivability, more sustain, safer fights, right? But in practice, they simply don't keep up with the massive team-wide synergy Mark of Insight provides. The synergy is just too good to ignore. Every buff Cynthia gains, every stack she generates, every debuff she applies, and every boss she triggers. All of it benefits not just her, but all three heroes in the formation. Shizuka benefits, Daisy benefits, Cynthia benefits almost as much as others, only slightly less because her native scaling is different, but still extremely impactful. Instead of healing a few percent of HP here and there, you gain a battle-long stacking system that forces the enemy to take more and more damage over time. It's the difference between surviving longer and absolutely deleting the enemy faster. And in control style marches, damage acceleration wins. So that's the full breakdown. Mark of Insight control isn't the obvious choice, but it's the dominant one once you understand how Cynthia interacts with it and how it turbocharges your entire formation. If you are running a full control march, this Tempest Arms isn't just good, it's borderline mandatory. If you enjoyed this breakdown, smash that like button, drop your question in the comments and subscribe for more deep dive guides like this one. Thanks for watching and I will see you in the next one.